Welcome to Lecture 5 on using visual strategies for individuals with autism. Visual strategies can be a particularly effective technique to use with individuals with autism to help them understand their environment, the work that they're to do, and how to go about doing it. Um, what are visual strategies? They're visual cues that can help an individual to understand his or her environment. They can help an individual respond appropriately in the environment, and they can help an individual respond correctly to complete a task or direction. Visual strategies are very commonly used in the overall intervention of teach. However, they're not limited to use in teach, and it's possible, even if you're not implementing a teach program, to incorporate visual strategies um, throughout the classroom and throughout your tasks. Some examples of visual strategies include a visual schedule, visual task analysis, work systems like those done in Teach, the environmental layout, and visual cues embedded within tasks and assignments. This isn't all of them, but we're going to briefly talk about each one of these examples of visual strategies. So, a visual schedule is where you're putting a schedule for what the individual is to do using objects, pictures, icons, or even words. You're laying it out um, what happens in the order they will be done, including showing what comes next. It helps individuals to transition between activity and it helps them to plan to know what's happening. Now, visual schedules can be done for the whole day, it can be done for part of the day, or even 2 or 3 activities at a time. One of the most simple visual schedules involves kind of the PREMAC principle, which is first you do this and then you get that. And you can actually, for some students, you need to do those kinds of things throughout the day. For other students, they may be able to have a full visual schedule. If they can read, you may be providing that visual schedule for them in words, but you want to have it for them where they can easily see it. So throughout their day, they can manage and know and understand what is happening, what is coming next, so they can better manage their transitions. A visual task analysis is where you're showing how to complete a task or an activity using a visual format. So the steps to complete the task are laid out step by step, each discrete step. So for washing hands, you might start off with a picture of going to the basin, and then there would be a picture of putting soap in your hands, and then there would be a picture of scrubbing your hands together, and then rinsing your hands underwater, and so on. So you're using a visual format to lay out the discrete steps of a task, step by step. Now, those visuals can be pictures, actual photographs. They can be icons like those found in BoardMaker, or they can even be videos if you want to make a video of someone completing a task step by step. You can use low tech or higher tech with the use of technology like an iPad, iPhone, iTouch, or other tablet. There's a lot of apps out there that actually allow you to create visual task analysis so that students can take it with them so they can know the steps to do what they're going to do. You can also use these technology to create visual schedules as well. Work systems, these are most commonly used in Teach. Teach makes extensive use of work systems. But work systems are where the tasks that are to be completed are presented in a way that makes it very visually clear how the task is to be completed step by step. It often involves a picture of what the final product will look like. You'll see the steps laid out from left to right, just like the way individuals read, and the steps are shown visually, step by step, what it is they're going to be done. A very important part of a work system is always providing a visual cue as to when the work is finished. So the student can see easily what it is they are to do and when they will be done. That's often something too that then they know to go back and look at their schedule. So they'll go get the schedule will tell them to go to their work system, they'll get the correct task, which is often set up in a visual way. They'll complete the task because it's visually structured for them to be able to follow visually what to do. They'll know when it's finished because there's a clear indicator of finished. And then that cue that they are finished also prompts them to go back and check their schedule to see what is next. Teach does make large use of work systems, and if you have the ability to go and see a Teach program being implemented in a classroom, I really encourage you to do so because you can really see how well this system works, and it's helpful to actually see the visual strategies set up. There's a number of YouTube videos too that show examples of the work systems. Another important visual strategy is actually regarding the environmental layout, and that environmental can be within a small section of a classroom, it can be the classroom itself, it can even be the whole school. But what you're doing is you're looking at a space and you're making sure that it is laid out in such a way that it's very visually clear what happens in each space, what each space is for, and what happens there. What are the rules? What goes on in that space? What are the expectations? So you lay out your environment in a way that makes that very visually clear. Just at a glance, a student knows that's where I have free time. That's where I sit at my desk and do my work. That's where we eat lunch. You can use room dividers, partitions, or bookcases to make separate spaces so that it becomes very clear, although you don't have to. You can use a carpet. Um, Other visual cues can also be provided. Even things if you use a table in your classroom, a large table at the classroom, and sometimes academic work is done there and sometimes snack is done there. So maybe you have one color of placemats to indicate that this is group academic work, and then you put out different placemats to indicate that now it's snack time. So it's very visually clear when the student looks at the table what is going to happen there. And those are the kinds of things that you want to do when you're setting up the environment to make things very clear. You want to think about how you can set it up so that the individual simply has to look at what's going on and they have an understanding of what the expectations are and what is going to happen. Finally, you can embed visual clues into assignments and activities to provide an additional layer of support. And this often follows the principles of universal design for learning, where you're actually creating things where you're providing those visual support as you create it. So you're creating it with those things in mind. So you might find that work or words are highlighted to show what is to be done. Or maybe you might include a strategy where work that is not to be completed is covered up, or you can use cutouts with folders and things so that they can see each problem that they're to do one at a time, so that distracting information um, can be covered up, and so they're only looking at what it is they have to do at that time. Once that's completed, then they uncover the next thing. So there's lots of ways to do this and to set up work within what they're doing and provide visual cues within work, even on worksheets, textbooks, lots of activities so that you're looking again at how how they look at things visually so that at a glance or with just a short look, they can visually see what is expected, what is to be done. There's other visual cues out there, and I encourage you to look for other visual strategies and implement them because this is something that has been shown to be very effective for individuals with autism.